I call those.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you everyone for their attendance. The minutes can reflect the attendance of the various trustees and staff. Let's move on to item 3. Entering a motion for approval of the 10-4 village board and to file the 824 plan commission, the 825 park and rec board, 913 board of public works, 914 public safety committee, 920 finance committee meeting minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second, as always, comments, questions, clarifications on the minutes. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? That motion passes. Item 4, anybody in the audience wishing to be heard on a non-agenda item, we have one person that did sign up. That is
Margaret Rathball.
Okay.
Run out of the microphone, Nate.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, if everyone can hear me, I
Just
forgot to use the mic.
Persons wishing to heard is that it's an opportunity for you to speak to the board. It's not for conversations back and forth, and it's limited to 3 minutes. So
Okay.
take off.
My husband and I moved to the village of Grafton on January 23rd, 2020. We chose Grafton for several reasons. The proximity to our daughter, son-in-law, and family who have lived in the town of Cedarburg since 2000, the medical care available, and the choices for retail shopping and the country atmosphere. One of our concerns was public safety. It was necessary for me to call for medical assistance for my husband in August 2020, and response of Grafton Fire Department and convenience to the Grafton Aurora Hospital was wonderful. The EMTs, paramedics were fantastic and very professional. We haven't had contact with the police department, but it did get me to thinking, with all the new retail development in Grafton and the many homes, apartments, and condos, and the new medical complex, as well as the industries, how has the police department staff increased since 2000? As the mother of a son who worked as a firefighter paramedic and 2 daughters who worked in law enforcement, this is important to me. I've seen firsthand what the stress of the job can have on someone. Does anyone on the village board know the number of sworn police officers in the village in 2000 and what the number is now?
Again, not a response.
Okay, Grafton has certainly grown with hundreds of new houses, apartments, senior housing, and other businesses built in the village since 2000. According to the 2000 census, there were 4,048 households in the village of Grafton. In 2019, the latest I could find figures for, there were 5,240 households. The area known as Grafton Commons was just a field in 2000. Starting in 2001, a 400,000 square foot retail center was built to include 16 retail stores, including a Costco. According to the demographics of the development company, a population of over 92,000 people live within 10 miles of the shopping center. Aurora Grafton Medical Center was built in 2010, is regionally ranked number 5 in Wisconsin and number 3 in southeastern Wisconsin, with over 300 doctors on staff, plus other medical and support personnel to keep a hospital operating. And that hospital brings in tens of thousands of patients annually. It is the largest employer in the village. Meyer Store was built in 2015, bringing in additional workers and shoppers to their store. According to the 2000 census, there were 10,312 people living in the village of Grafton. In the 2020 census, there were 12,054 people, an increase of 1,742 people. Has a traffic study been done in the village to determine how many vehicles are passing through the city on a daily basis? I would imagine that just the area of I-43, Highway 60, and Port Washington Road, there's a great increase in traffic that isn't accounted for by the village. But if an accident happens or a retail theft or a medical emergency happens, the Grafton Police and Fire Department will need to respond. Is there enough manpower to do so? In Milwaukee County, which is where we moved from, there's an agreement for mutual aid between the cities and suburbs. I imagine there's a similar one in Grafton, but in Ozaukee County. but with mainly volunteer fire departments and smaller police departments, and a sheriff's department that has to cover over 233 miles of land coverage, every public service department is stretched to the limit and beyond.
I'm sorry, how much do you have left?
I have a paragraph.
did
I asked
already
you-
ask then go ahead.
I ask you to please give some consideration to the village budget to increase the number of sworn personnel in the Grafton PD and to find a way to help the fire department as increased calls are coming in for emergency medical services. Thank you for allowing me the time to address the board.
Thank you.
And if possible, I'd like to make this as a matter of
Absolutely. Just give it to
your
me.
minutes.
All right, anybody else on a non-agenda item? Okay, let's move forward with the regular agenda then. Item 6, resolution ordinance action items. Item A is a resolution to redistrict the ward boundaries as presented. I don't know, Katie, if you want to take this, or Jesse, you want to take it? Looks like it's pretty much boilerplate type changes based on population.
I'll take this.
Thanks, Kate.
After the census is done every 10 years, the municipalities are required to redistrict in accordance with the county, the state, every state, every county, every municipality is required to redistrict, and it goes from the top down. So once the county was done redistricting their supervisory wards, they put our wards into their supervisory districts. So nothing changes as far as, because we are a village and all trustees are elected at large. So we do not have alderman districts. So nothing changes with that aspect. Nothing changes with the Cedarburg Grafton School District. Some of the wards did shift a little bit within the village, but that's to accommodate to have an more equal population and to fit within those supervisory districts.
Any questions for Katie? Entertain a
No,
motion.
I'm sorry, can I just ask one question? So you said about every 10 years?
After the census, we're required to redistrict.
Oh,
every
after
10
the
years.
census.
After the census.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, entertain a motion to approve the resolution to redistrict the ward boundaries. It is a resolution, takes an offer motion second.
Offer.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Offer motion second. Final comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That resolution passes. Again, item B before the planning commission. I'll entertain a motion to table items 1 and 2.
I'll make the motion to table.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 3 is a motion to recommend changes to or amendments to chapter 19 zoning, article 9, administration and procedures be approved. Most of the stuff is again, just boilerplate, cleaning up language, things like that.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any questions for Jessica as she's here? Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Move on to item C, report of the Board of Public Works. There's one item, that's a motion to approve the time and materials proposal from C.D. Smith to install, I'm assuming a small concrete
Yes.
wall and diversion structure for a cost not to exceed $10,000 be approved.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Motion is second. Amber, 30 seconds.
Sure, that's just the large structure where all of the sanitary flows from the entire village come into the wastewater treatment plant. Due to moving our headworks building from one location to another, the flows through that manhole kind of have to go a different direction. This is trying to shape the bottom of that manhole to allow those flows to free flow and not get backed up.
Sure. Thank you. Questions? Yes.
So a more accurate motion would be to construct the wall and create a flow bench line from the one line into the new line.
Sure, yes. That's correct.
People made the motion in a second. Okay, will that change?
I am.
Yes.
Okay, Katie, do you have that? Can you repeat it back, please?
Motion would be to approve the town materials proposed from C.D. Smith to install a small concrete wall in diversion structure for a cost not to exceed 10,000 and to construct a wall and create flow. I'm sorry,
To install a small concrete wall and diversion structure along with a flow bench line.
flow bench.
Okay, with that, Amber? Got it, Katie? Yep. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Move on to item B, report of the Public Safety Committee. We have two items. First item is a motion to approve the acceptance of a $250 stipend from Movement Forward for Faith and Blue Weekend. Be approved.
I make the motion. I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Item two is a motion to approve the amendments to ordinance 10.36090B as revised by Chief Caponera to include definition of truck and other discussed changes be approved.
I make a motion. I'll second.
Motion is second. Chief, how much time you put into this? It looks pretty good.
Honestly, about 20 minutes.
Really? Because the thing that I really like is that you identify recreational vehicle, which is something that's plagued us for years and years and years and years and years. Questions for Chief?
I second that on the recreational vehicle. Greatly appreciate your work on that.
So if there's only 20 minutes, congratulations, but it took us 20 years to get to that 20 minutes. Motion is second, final comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Move on to item 7, Department and Officers Reports. I know a lot of it's been on budget, but anything else you wish to add, Jesse?
Not this evening, no. My efforts have really been focused on working with Paul and Andrew to get the book together, and looking forward to continued discussions on that as we move towards a public hearing in November.
That being said, we'll open it up to the board for any questions you may have of a well-representative staff.
Is the fencing project for All My Friends still targeted for the end of the month?
Yes, it is. I'm still working to get some help as we have no directions. We had the All My Friends group have all of the parts and pieces of the fence delivered to Public Works, and there are no construction drawings whatsoever with it. So we are working at a staff level to figure out a plan of attack and trying to see if we can get a fencing company to either donate us, or if we have to pay for a couple of hours of their time to simply get us started. That said, we are looking to get that kicked off before the end of the month, and hopefully wrapped up before the end of the month too, before the leaves really start coming off the trees. Yep.
So I wanted to ask about, I know at Park and Rec, Jesse, the committee had talked about possibly having a member of that committee sit in or kind of weigh in or sit with you during an interview process? Is
Sure.
that something that-
It is still under consideration right now. We do have a committee member that is one of the preferred candidates that I'm reviewing, so I don't know if it'd be appropriate at this point in time to have a committee member sit on an interviewing committee with a active board member. So it is under consideration. We'll see how the process plays out.
Okay, and Amber, I just have a question. Did I see something about, there was an issue about the resurfacing in the Black Hawk subdivision?
There were some questions about the surface that is out there. It's obviously not a hot mix asphalt surface that was placed down. So it was not intended to look like a hot mix asphalt, but there are some areas that need repair. They actually tried to come out last week and it rained, so it is on the radar here, hopefully before it gets too cold to do some patches and repairs.
Was that specifically something that they were directed to do? That type, and they just didn't?
Nope, they did what we asked
Asked them
for
to
and
do,
what we
okay.
bid out. Yep,
Okay.
yep, that's why it's a much cheaper, product than putting a whole new asphalt overlay on it. But yeah, they are planning to come out and do some, basically punch list work like we have on any project.
Okay, and then my last question, Jesse, is the DPW going to be open tomorrow?
Yes, that is our
And
plan.
is that the second or third time that the office has been
It's the
closed?
second closure we've experienced.
So was that something maybe we can talk about later? I mean, I feel that that's a service that we, are providing for our citizens, and it's not
Yes,
available for residents, and I'm trying to figure how we can fix that or
correct.
prevent that in the future.
Unfortunately, we don't have a way to predict COVID quarantines. That has really been the crux of our issues when it comes down to having to close that office. We have quarantines being experienced, and therefore we have nobody to help at the counter. And then staff needs to be out in the field. Steve Block needs to be out in the field. Director Thomas needs to be out in the field. So that, and Kim John Dale in the Parks Department is part-time. So unfortunately, that is the crux of our issue there. It's not a matter of looking to just close it simply because of vacations or what have you. It's we're running into quarantine issues.
Yeah, that concerns me at this time.
for us, we're down 2 staff members in the building right now, too, just with no parks and rec director and no utility.
Right. Right, and I know that
So
that's part of it,
adds-
that's almost 50%. And then you combine sickness with that, and it's a service that we don't have anymore.
Amber. Amy mentioned to you at Public Works a week or two back, last meeting, about that sidewalk replacement on Cherokee.
Okay.
There's quite a few, she even showed you a picture, some runoff or something from various slabs that were installed on both sides of the street. And you had mentioned that you thought that that would maybe disappear with the rain. Now, it's rained a couple times, it looks the same. My concern is if we go there, it's there next spring and summer, and we go back to the contractor, they're gonna say, why didn't you let us know sooner? I think it was basically sloppy workmanship, and I think they should come out and take a look at it.
I can take a closer look at it. From the picture, it looks very common from when you take a wet saw and you saw cut concrete, it always kind of leaves.
There's
a-
footprints.
But I'll take a look at it, and we definitely will have a punch list open into the spring.
I just think the longer we put it off, the harder it is for us to get any coverage from the contractor.
Sure, I'll take a closer look at it.
Just a reminder, Amber, that Headworks open house is still scheduled for coming up 26, correct?
It is
All right.
26th at 4:30.
At 4:30. It's biggest public works project, utility project that the village has ever undertaken, dollar-wise, 8 million, so. See what your utility fees get you.
Other questions? Okay, let's move onwards. Licenses, entertain a motion for approval of 2 individuals for operator license. They're placement of permit located. We have a motion.
Yeah, I'll make them.
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. And 9, report the bills, entertain a motion for the approval of village expenditures, $335,481.34.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion is second. I didn't see a whole lot back and forth this time around, but at least there was a little. Any further questions regarding the bills? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Item 10, motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all very much. We'll see you right here next month.